And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
Who dropped into Matt Marsh? Was that Lynch?
I did.
Thank you, because we don't want to forget Matt Marsh.
I was too busy fixating on his name change again.
Oh, here we go. See, it's going to be like, there's going to be 4 different name changes. He's going to be like Madonna on stage and change his name every 15
wardrobe
minutes.
to follow.
Son of a bitch. Do we really have to go through this?
Shit.
God bless.
He's going to have a wardrobe malfunction like Janet Jackson did.
I hope
No,
not.
you don't want to see my scraggly nipples.
We're gonna need to know about that so I can handle the 5-second delay.
Thank you.
We're gonna need to know. Legally, the lawyers have said that legally you have to inform us if that's gonna happen, even though we're rated as a not for children show.
Lynch, you're on an hour delay now.
Oh wow!
Right? We're gonna record your part. Look, we're gonna record the show. We're going to let you watch the show, and we're going to record you talking along to it. Then I'm going to take that and edit you into the show however I like it. We'll just squeeze you in.
I'll just pause it when I need to talk.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It'd be like doing like an animation thing. It's just you with somebody else reading somebody else's line in your ear, and you're doing the voice. There it is.
Well, it's better than him wearing a Speedo reading poetry, throwing out Frisbees. So.
Oh, goddamn. Thank you, Marsh. Thank you.
I don't know. As a producer, there could be ratings in that. I'm just saying.
The Leaping Lanny Poffo has returned.
You know,
my shit.
Matt Marsh is the one complaining about the. Apparently, there's a limited selection of porn out there. I'm thinking we're making some new genres. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, today will be my last day on Dysfunction Junction.
What?
I wish the boys well.
All right, there it is.
But I cannot in clear conscience watch Lynch in a Speedo, oiling himself up, talking like Leaping Lanny Poffo, and doing all the stuff Marsh.
And yet here he's been pushing Watch the Iron Claw.
It's a great fucking movie.
Oh.
I don't know. I saw a lot of oiled up. I saw a lot of Speedos.
There was a lot of greasy men.
I'm seeing conflicting comments.
None of them were Lynch.
Or Leaping Lanny Poffo.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I don't know what to say other than you have reached the bottom of the barrel, the depths of depravity, the zenith of just all the things that are wrong with all 4 of us. But God damn it, kick your feet back, raise your beverage high in the air, and use Kalissa Painting if you're in the greater Ocala area, and say, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I am Chris Burns. The scraggly gentleman in the lower left box is none other than...
Christopher Lynch.
We have returning Old Man Matt, the cheeseburger deluxe himself, the one and only Matt Marsh. Woo. We have been waiting for this moment, Matt Marsh. I can't tell you how much, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair. And by God, who'd have thunk it, an actual good drafter of NASCAR fantasy teams. He is the one and only Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up?
That guy up there. And that guy over
ladies
there,
and gentlemen, it's been you guys are doing the Brady Bunch bit, and it's starting to give me a little bit of vertigo. Sorry.
Settle down, Alice.
I know. It's been an interesting week. We're going to talk about it all. I think it's a no-brainer. We lead off with Hunter Biden. Guilty on all counts. We talked about Trump last week. Guilty on all counts. And I think Herm said it best. I'm going to ask the panel, since it was put out there, what kind of sentence do you think old Hunter gets for these charges? Starting with either one of you two at the bottom.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, like I said, I had to study up on this a little last minute, but as I was talking to the two of you earlier, you brought up some good points. Since it's basically, we're not talking violent crime.
Not one of them is a violent crime.
We're not talking distribution. We're not talking, I mean, I don't, And if he does do anything, I don't think it's going to be in, any place that's going to be painful. He's not going to do hard time.
No, time served. Maybe some home confinement.
Yeah, maybe you have to write a couple of checks.
So
it'll be home confinement.
Yeah, he's going to be on an ankle bracelet. There was no commission he didn't commit a crime with. The only felony is him lying on his application.
Martha Stewart did harder time than he's going to do.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I think she was used as an example in her case many moons ago. Anyway, but they're going to go light on him. Not time served. It's going to be probably an AR case, accelerated rehabilitation, X amount of years probation.
Right.
Home monitoring for. He's going to be on an anklet for part of that time, not the entire time. I'd say a year on an anklet, 5 years probation, weekly check-ins, shit like that.
His life's not going to skip a beat.
He won't be able to. He will not be able to.
He's not going to be able to leave the house. Wherever he decides to set down roots, that's where he's staying. But
right, so he better decide quickly where he wants to set up roots, and whether it's with a stripper who's a baby mama or some other broad.
I'm just saying wherever he picks to live, that's where they'll chain him down.
Right, but how does that work? Is it just confined to the house, or is it the property? You could buy an estate.
Usually, it's within so many yards of the monitor, so you can set that. You can set it's the same as a fucking dog chain. Basically set it to how far they come in. They set somebody inside, somebody with a radio. They take a measurement. They set it. They test it, they fine-tune the adjustment, and that's it. They tell it exactly where the boundaries are, and you can go anywhere you want as long as you're within the 300 yards of the machine or whatever.
Right, but at home confinement per se, what if you're in a freaking 30-acre freaking estate? Can you go anywhere on the estate?
Well, then they can set whatever they want. They can
set whatever parameters they want.
You can set it to, he can come out of the house, get some yard time, get a little outside, because that's the whole point of home confinement. It basically keeps you inside and you get some outside time. You're not completely locked down, but you are not allowed to go anywhere real. So, they usually set 100 yards from the base, and that'll be it. Like, he'll be able to go out, feed the dogs, it depends. They have to go out and figure out where he's going, what he's going to be doing. If he's taking care of animals, they've got to give him enough room to, continue doing what he does on the property. And that's about it.
But think about basic home confinement like 15 years ago or 20 years ago compared to now, before the internet, after the internet. All these kids that had to go to school during COVID from home, some of them freaking thrived because you still have your whole social network and interaction. You're not really being isolated.
Yeah, the whole thing with home confinement.
But then you also had other kids that completely lost it because there was no physicality. So that's the whole point. But this is Hunter Biden we're talking about.
He can still bring hookers in.
But this is yes and no.
On the sly.
If you
as long as somebody doesn't find out.
If you think they're not continually watching him.
I'm not going to call them that.
No, they're friends of the family.
Yes. This is my niece. Bunny from out of town.
I was going to say, I have so many friends named Sauvignon Blanc or Cinnamon.
Sapphire.
You're talking about somebody that has a life that is used to and requires moving around, not staying on the farm. So that's the issue. Is it makes everything infinitely harder for somebody who moves around a lot to do their normal daily life. It makes it tough.
That's the point.
The premise behind
I know that. I'm just saying, but that's the is the whole point.
Unfortunately, at work,
somebody who needs to move around and talk to people all over the place, not being able to move, like putting Trump on a 1 month
Twitter ban.
That doesn't do anything. That nigga don't need Twitter to be stupid with his mouth.
He'll go on Truth Social.
If you were to put him on, him and 4 other dudes.
Right.
If you were to put Trump on a house arrest, regardless of where it is, it'd be Mar-a-Lago because that's technically is on record residence.
Yep.
Okay, it's Trump. He's got everything he wants. Yeah. But if it's in the middle of fucking president campaign season, 2 months of house arrest, you might as well just cut his fucking Achilles tendon and tell him to run across the yard.
I disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. Again, we live in a very internet age. When the internet was still bubbling and young, I said I could run for president and use just the internet, make little videos, do my thing, and I could probably get, I don't know, 3% of the vote.
Right, when
this guy did. Go ahead, please.
When you campaign, you're not campaigning to the people that already like you. You are a little
over to people that don't like you.
Campaigning the people that don't like you.
How many times? How many times
you're campaigning, sir? Check the numbers.
I will.
That is done by visiting those states personally.
But for how much longer?
Right. We talked about this last week.
Well, the internet just came up last year?
No, I'm talking.
The nigga's been around for 30 years. They still running the same motherfucking process.
Right, but back in the 1800s, they rode on a locomotive all over the country. Fast forward to now, they're flying around in their little jets. And in the age of the internet, how many more years until they're just doing
showing up physically? Guys, it's the difference between touching a book or reading it on your Kindle.
I don't know. I think in our lifetime, you're going to see freaking campaigning without travel.
I agree with that 1,000%.
No, I disagree, and here's why.
You have major things that go on. All right, whoever the Republican candidate is showing up at the Ohio State Fair, that is more ingrained in fucking the campaign than the fact that the job is for president. Like, there are certain things that happen legitimately only because it's campaign season. There's you guys, who's a NASCAR fan. And the way they celebrate history, yes, you, sir. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure you were talking to me.
But yeah, there's history involved with campaigning, and that person showing up to show that they care about you still actually means something, because even more so nowadays when everybody can just phone it the fuck in from my movie screen. Now he's not just doing it. It's the show up. The show up is a display of consideration.
Sure. And we are very much in unprecedented times where
you can't tell me that they're not all about being considered and considerate.
Understand. I understand everything you're saying. We are also in unprecedented times where the leader of the Republican Party, per se, and basically, we can all just say it right now. He's going to be the nominee for the Republican Party, Donald Trump.
He already is.
Pal. They haven't even had the convention yet. But yes, he's the assumed, and 90% he's going to be. Somebody will dissent, and it will explode into something different.
I mean, I'd like to think that's not true, but I don't know.
The sentencing is next month. We will find out exactly what happens. We are unprecedented times. We also know that the Trump crazies are going to go apeshit ballistic. And I've already heard people say it out in the streets. There are people. I saw a dude in a t-shirt in Rocky Hill, Connecticut the other day. The verdict was what? Last Wednesday? I was up in Rocky Hill on Monday, and the dude already has a shirt that says, "I'm voting for the felon 2024. That's how fast our world will. But wait, let me finish. That's how fast our world.
You don't want to vote.
I understand that, but that's how fast our world moves. And eventually, like Matt said, everything is, as much as I hate to say it, as much as I liked seeing Bill Clinton at the Norwich bowling alley when I was campaigning for him in '92. We live in a very virtual world where the young people eventually will take over for us old fucks. And everything is done like this. Well, all you do is click a button, so-and-so town hall at 7:00, and they'll click and they'll watch and they'll get their likes and whatever, and they'll share it. We're moving in a direction where virtuality, as far as the internet is concerned, is taking over. Now, I know we've gotten on a Trump and we've moved away from Biden, but I want to ask this question. President Biden has gone on record to say he will not pardon his son if the guilty verdict came in. And now we are here today. Well, agreed. But we are here today with the guilty verdict on the counts. I'm waiting to see if Joe Biden keeps his promise. Do I think he will? I'd like to believe that. I don't think Joe Biden is a crooked human being. I think he's a senile human being. But I don't necessarily think he is crooked.
If he pardons his own son, anybody on the fence about who they're going to vote for, he will completely fucking lose.
He will throw this election right at Trump.
And this is my point about I'm going to touch over a couple things. House arrest is nowadays designed so it doesn't interrupt your normal flow of what you would do if you were home. So if you're on house arrest, no, it's not, because if, like Herm said, to the point, I'm a farmer and I get put on house arrest. I still need to do my chores and do the things that gets me through my day.
Yeah, but that's a very specific example.
Well, there are people that I've known,
but it's an example.
Right? There are people.
They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to pay your rent. They're not going to pay the light bill.
Yep, that tracker.
You get access and it's a GPS tracker. You've got.
I'm not saying they're going to
work because they're not incarcerating you where you require no money. They have to if they're so they just track you.
And
that tracker. If I can go ahead, Lynch, please. The
problem with home arrest, house arrest, or home arrest is it's a case by case basis. There is no set precedent as to how a judge sits down there's no predetermined criteria for what house arrest is.
No, he writes the rules when he writes the rules when he decides the sentence.
Because I think it is a fair way to assess what this person's house arrest needs to be. There is house arrest that I've heard of where the guy loses his job because he cannot leave the house because he's that much of a danger.
There are people
and he has surveillance on him 24/7. So there's other resources being utilized here on top of the judicial system. There's also law enforcement. We're paying cops to follow these fucking people around.
Right. There are people, though, that I've known who are on house arrest who cannot go more than a mile away from, and here it comes, their home or work. So if you give them, you're going to be on house arrest, you can still go to work. Here's where I work. So here's my schedule. I can leave my house. I can go straight to work. I can work my 8 to 10.
And if you leave 5 minutes early, you're in trouble. And if you get home 5 minutes early without a phone call, you're arrested.
Exactly. And
those are the parameters that you have to follow. It's a set of rules that you're dictated by your schedule. Just like school, you can't ring the bell. You can't show up 5 minutes after the bell, or you're tardy. And being tardy gets you thrown in jail.
Now, the part of this that I'm going to have an issue with, and not so much with Hunter Biden, because I think his job is smoking crack. The problem with that with former President Donald Trump is he's campaigning. He could very well, whether we like it or not, be elected president of the United States. He has the power to pardon himself. That's going to set not that these things haven't already set a dangerous precedent. He's going to set an even greater, more terrible precedent. If he gets elected, he has the power to pardon himself.
Well,
how fucked up is that?
If you listen to the far right, which I unfortunately do because it helps me form a decent opinion of what's going on in the world.
Thankfully, I don't go that far right, but tell me who you're listening to. I'll pick it up.
They are saying that this is what they do when they want to eliminate the opposition. They jail them, they throw them in prison, or attempt to, so there is no threat. I don't see it that way. I see due process, where due process was supposed to have been applied.
Right.
For crimes, whatever the fuck they may be, the 34 charges, like Herm said last week, that's between the judge, his lawyers, and Trump.
Exactly.
So, no, I don't think the Democrats are going out of their way to jail their political opponents.
Nor do I.
I don't think the country is that fucking corrupt at this point. However, if
look what you did there.
Donald J. Trump decides to pardon himself.
Yeah, but
he knows if he does that, it will,
let him finish.
If he knows in his mind, he has to. If he does that, it's going to completely destroy and fracture the country. It's going to be so divisive where the far left will start burning down buildings, marching in the street, and calling him a fascist.
Those are mostly peaceful protests. Remember,
you know this to be true. Those mostly peaceful protests by BLM back in George Floyd era
were bullshit and violent.
Those will look like Mickey Mouse fucking riots. That's how far the far left is going to go. I'm more scared of the far left than I am the far right.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
I'd rather have a little bit of common sense in the country, which is basically what leaning a little bit more to the right is common sense.
Right. We've talked about this before. Go ahead, please. Sorry.
You rule by, you don't rule with your emotions. You rule with the facts.
Correct. And knowing that I'm center right, whereas Herm is more center left, we agree to disagree on a lot of things. But at the tail end of it, I think Herm and I are probably 70% in lockstep, where we're always going to have spirited and well-meaning discussion about the things we oppose, which is fantastic. It's why we've lasted 40 years. It's why Lynch, wherever he sits, we've lasted 30 years, and Marsh gets a cheeseburger at the end.
Yeah, he does.
A big, greasy, juicy cheeseburger. But again, I said that last week, and I'll say it again this week because you made some great points. It's bad enough that the DA in New York set his whole campaign up on, I'm out to get Trump. I think the charges are real. I think the verdict is valid. I think that whatever happens next, happens next. As Herm said last week, and I'll bring it up again, he's a first-time. It's a first-time crime, much like Hunter Biden. Here's where we're going to draw a lot of parallels. First-time crime. White collar. Didn't hurt a lot of people. You're going to get off with a light sentence, whatever that sentence may be. Now, if Trump gets a heavy sentence, we have a problem. If he gets a heavy sentence and he's still going to campaign, and look, I know whatever happens with this Hunter Biden thing.
If he gets a heavy sentence, he gets a heavy sentence. What are you going to do?
You don't do anything.
The one judge lets one guy. The judge is allowed to assess and give one guy. And I know these are two different judges, but we've literally seen it in court cases. I watch guys come in for child support violations left and motherfucking right. This is the 7th time I've seen you in the court, Mr. Jackson. You were supposed to show up with this. You were supposed to do this last time. We're going to give you one more shot. I show up in court. It's a different story. The different story is, Mr. Herman, you need to do this by next week or there is a fucking problem. The difference is the court knows that when I am given an instruction and I'm going to do it and it's going to get done and this whole matter is going to be over and the judge never is going to have to fucking walk back and see me. So even though it seems like I got fucked because I'm like, man, these guys are just getting fucking walking out of here. Why am I getting fucking ripped up? Well, it's because technically when the judge looks at me, he sees a better human being that's going to handle his shit.
It's a level of expectation.
Right. And while there's a different, it's different in this case, you've got a judge that's going to assess and decide what he thinks the right punishment is. And it has, unfortunately, they're going to compare me deciding one person's fate to somebody else deciding another person's fate. And they're going to try to say they're not fair. Well, of course not. It's two different fucking people making a fucking decision, idiots.
Right. In my opinion, and I'll let you guys wax philosophically.
If it's hard, if it's a hard sentence, it's a hard sentence. There's not much you can do about it. Welcome to the judge not getting head last night. I don't know what to tell you.
He didn't get the sausage in his big breakfast this morning on the way to the courthouse, which has happened to me more than once. Look, I think in both cases, by Hunter Biden, Donald Trump, it's going to be light sentences. I'd like to believe that. However, whatever happens, Lynch has stolen my gimmick now more times on this show than anywhere else ever in the history of ever. Whatever happens, happens. We don't have to like it. Hell, America was split in half when OJ got his verdict.
That was
you don't have to like it, but due process was given to him, much like due process was given to Donald Trump, much like due process was given to Hunter Biden. You don't have to like the outcome, and in both cases, last week and this week, I'm okay with the outcome. Why? Because it went through the process. Done and done.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret.
You're gay?
I don't give two fucks about Hunter Biden.
I don't care about Donald Trump.
Well, you should, because there's a potential that he's going to be your leader again.
Well,
we'll get through it.
I put my worry to where it should be put. I'm more worried about what's going to happen with the country come November than I am about what hooker or whatever the fuck stripper Hunter Biden wants to bring onto his compound and have a 6-way anal fest. I don't give a fuck. He could have gotten the death sentence. I don't care.
I didn't see any of that in the jury.
I'm curious what a 6-way anal fest is.
6-way.
He doesn't affect me in my daily life at all.
I don't think I've ever seen a 6-way.
You're not digging deep enough down the rabbit hole of anal. But anyway, I digest.
This is why I don't think there's a good variety of porn.
And Matt left. See what you did?
He's back.
All right.
But I give more of a shit about Donald Trump because he can affect my life in a couple months.
Go ahead, Matt, please.
Whatever the sentence is for Trump.
I'm not being facetious with this, but we already went through 4 years. How can he affect your life or my life? I mean, what is it? I mean, what can he do that he hasn't already done?
You can do it.
Let me frame my statement this way. Look now. I don't know how much you watch or read about, like, how it kind of fits into the trans movement. What they call him, and they blame him personally for how trans people are treated in the country. When I say him, I mean Donald Trump. Is because his actions, according to them, is why they are treated the way they are. It's his fault.
Get the fuck out of here.
So listen, let me finish.
But I've seen some of the shit you read. Where are you reading this?
No, I've heard what he's saying. I've heard this from other people.
Watch the Whatever podcast.
I have. Great show.
You don't even have to watch a whole episode. They have shorts and they have compressed versions of that show. I hated it at first until I watched full episodes of it. There are people in this country, young people in this country, who call Trump a racist, a fascist, a homophobe, this, and the third. But when asked to provide the proof and show the receipts, they can't. They have zero.
Well, I'm kind of used to that now.
By proxy, if he's in office, we're going to push ourselves back even further down that fucking rabbit hole of automatic hate for a man that had nothing to do with where the trans movement was 4 years ago when he left office. They're going to blame him for anything that has to do negative with their movement. They love Biden. They love
Republicans haven't done that for everything they've bitched about for the last 4 years with Biden. Good thing they've all done it. Good thing they only do that on the Democratic side.
It's a great point, Herm. Thank you. That's a great point because
Joe Biden. Groceries are $8 million.
I'm not saying
it's Biden. Gas is $700.
It's not his fault.
It's Biden.
It's not his fault.
It
wasn't Donald Trump's fault either when he was in office.
Okay, so
the way it affects us, Matt, is that we're the cleanup crew of the country, our generation, because we are the workers. We work harder to pay and subsidize for these kids to get what they call health affirming life-affirming healthcare or life-saving healthcare, because their movement wants to push this through, make it mandatory. That if a kid at 10 years old says I want hormone shots, it's paid for.
Well, I understand that. I know that prisoners have that right now on the taxpayer's dime.
Correct.
But I just don't see what the difference is between one candidate or another. I think we're in the shits either way.
I agree.
No, but I'm using the trans movement as the example. The trans community loves Joe Biden because Joe Biden will do whatever the fuck he's going to say yes to everything to help placate them, because they play on the emotion. They make the emotional plea. When you put a guy in charge of the country who should be running the country based upon how it's going to impact the economy, B, it's common fucking sense that you shouldn't give this to a 10-year-old child or alter it physically and do life-altering damage to the kid. Who do you want running the country? Do you want somebody who uses maybe a nice blend of emotion and fact, or do you want just somebody to just start pen whipping shit because it fits into the agenda of the moment? And the agenda of the moment, unfortunately, is that movement, is the trans movement.
Yeah, there's a lot of pandering on.
Whether you knew it or not, it affected you. It affected you.
There's a lot of pandering going on.
It affects us now.
There's a lot of pandering going on with the current administration. No, it's not. And it doesn't necessarily affect me until someone tells me I have to affirm or accept or this. Look, that's the beauty of being American. You know, I don't have to accept.
Want it to be illegal to misgender somebody?
That's horseshit.
Would you like that to happen?
Not particularly, but I didn't want to have to fucking pay for paid FMLA either, and now I do.
No,
well, okay. So now you can thank Bill. You can thank Bill Clinton for that in 1992.
Correct.
Dude, I'm all for that. I'm all for that simply because FMLA lets and here in Colorado we pay for it because it also includes fathers completely for full maternity.
And I will back that
motherfucking shit over any other thing that it does for the rest of fucking time.
Oh yeah, let me ask you a question.
And it lets dads do the same. Get a fucking grip on what the fuck you just did. You just made a fucking human. I back the FMLA wholeheartedly just because of the dad point.
Lynch, go ahead before I make my point.
Go ahead.
I've always thought it unfair that there is no such thing as paternity leave for a father.
Oh, there was
paternity leave.
In 2008
in Colorado. The state of Colorado
all right.
pay you here. It's awesome.
Now,
but if I had a child 20 years ago, I get a week off. That's what most companies give a father is a week. 4 days.
I got 4 days in 2008 when Emma was born. 4.
Okay. How is that fair to any parent, whether it's two guys, two girls, a guy and a girl? Maternity
There's only
leave.
two kinds of parents.
Maternity
when you have
leave,
a baby.
Maternity leave should be maternity leave.
But
whether it applies to the father or applies to the mother.
We're also judging 1973 by 2024.
Who's judging 1973?
I understand.
When we are talking about.
I'm judging 2008.
No. Listen, when we're talking about men getting maternity leave because of that, we're talking about that because we are living in 2024. All right, and that's the time we're living in.
I think it's great.
I do too. My point is that we're judging what wasn't fair long ago through a today lens. It's just a shorter period and it's not slavery. So everybody stay with me now.
No,
but it's
go ahead, please.
Same thing. You weren't when 20 years ago when we all had kids, that was the standard. The way that slavery was the standard 200 years ago. We're judging it from 2024 now, where we've gone through the time and the periods where we've seen them say, hey, men are fucking important too. This time is important for them with the child as well. But we all agree with that because we've come through it and we're living through that time. If you asked all of us this same question in 1952, we showed up held the kid, smoked a cigarette while we did it at the hospital, and then went home and went back to the office to sell fucking tin siding.
At the end of the day,
No,
I'm not saying it's bad, but everything can be viewed from all I'm saying is that we're viewing it now knowing that we're important, and back then nobody thought that was important.
No, I agree with that, because I was happy with the 4 days, because I didn't think
4 days was like fucking holy shit. 4 days,
right? How about the wife? How about the kid? Yada yada yada. Then I'm gonna go back to work and make the money. I'm one of those guys that espouses exactly what you just said. You cannot judge 1865 or 1965 or hell, in some cases 1985 to today's standard, because the standard has changed and the standard always changes. And if you are dumb enough to look at something, we talked about the Goodfellas thing in the private chat where they put the graphic up. That graphic doesn't need to be there, because if you're watching Goodfellas, you know what you're getting into. You don't need to be the social norms and the language and shut the fuck up. It's a goddamn film. Let it go. I don't watch a horror film and expect, hey, this might show images of murder that may trigger somebody. No, you just get The Conjuring, The Nun, The Dead Place. You get whatever you get. You know what you're going into watching a particular movie. If you go into Goodfellas thinking you're going to see a nice, wholesome, we're going to hold hands and walk through the park, it says so right in the blurb at the top of the movie poster. Since I was a little boy, I always wanted to be a gangster. Bingo. So you know what you're walking into. Stop it with the sensitivity bullshit. This is where I'm going to judge 2024 through, I'm going to go backward through 1989 eyes. Stop being so fucking titty sensitive to everything that walks into your fucking path. I'll throw a little NASCAR reference in here, since I'm told I can't say this word on the Speedway Review because we are somewhat family friendly. Martin Truex threw out the word retard this weekend. And his comment was, it would be nice if we could drive. If you've never seen Sonoma, there's a big hill going into turn 2 on a road course, and it says, it would be nice if I could get through this turn without everybody driving like a fucking retard. Not the best move on Martin's part, but at the same time, if this race was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody bats an eye. In 2024, everybody wants Martin Truex drawn and quartered.
Yeah, because now it's the R word.
The graphic that they put up on NASCAR.com. Martin Truex is in deep shit because he said the R word. Get over it. It's a word. How many times have Herm and I'm only asking Herm now, we're on the phone and I say, dude, that's retarded.
I do it all the time now.
Yeah, we do. On the phone. We do. You're right. Wait. No.
I'll get to my. I'll finish the point after.
We talk about all kinds of shit in the fucking thread that technically would get all of us motherfucking arrested for hate crimes. Okay,
right.
But that's the thread, nigga. You on the motherfucking radio in public.
That's what I was gonna say. NASCAR did this to themselves. America did this to themselves. We want every piece of everything broadcast 24 hours a day. If somebody farts at Starbucks, we know about it in 14 seconds on the internet. The worst thing NASCAR ever did was make those radio communications available to people. That is supposed to be private. That is supposed to be between driver and crew. There is no reason why Matt Marsh in Groton, Connecticut should hear what Martin Truex is saying inside that car. There's no reason that Joe Blow in Podunk, Indiana should have access to Donald Trump's tax records.
All right, so I'm going to play devil's advocate right here.
Sure.
You fucking wanted it. Live with it.
I wanted what?
The people that are getting all titty twisted about it. Oh, I want to hear what's. I want what's inside the radio. Okay, then fucking live with it. He said retard.
Been out of shape because he said retard. They've suspended guys. Kyle Larson. I'll get off NASCAR in just a second for saying the not hard R N-word. They suspended Noah Gragson for the same thing. They were doing iRacing, and he said this N-word, Herm, go ahead and say it because I'm not a fan of it.
Yo, I mean, he said, he said that this nigga doing something and this and that, but I get it, but you also got to remember that these are public figures, man.
I agree with that, and I've said that before.
You are never private until you are somebody's told you are on a secure line. Your entire life is on display, and that's
they used to be secure lines. That's the problem.
Okay, so this is it. NASCAR informed you that this was the change. We're going to make everything available so the fans can hear it, that this is what the fans want. Everybody went, yep, okay, and then thought they could just still, Appalachian hillbilly it. As best as like they used to. That look, y'all signed up for the contract you have, and y'all know what you were doing. You fucked up. You can't use the word that way.
Major League Baseball is another one where they'll mic a particular player up. Like, hey, we've got third baseman. It just happened the other night with the Dodgers. Can't remember his name. Fumbled a routine ground ball. He's mic'd up. They don't have I don't think MLB has a 7-second delay. And if they do, hello, Cynthia in the comment section. How you doing tonight? I don't know if MLB has a 7-second delay, but that dude bobbled that ball and all you heard was, fuck. And then he threw the ball and got the Yankee player out. This is what happens when you mic up someone who is in a competition. I'm sure if you mic'd up Venus Williams on the tennis court, she'll throw a fuck out there now and again.
Absolutely, because you forget, if you're not a mic'd up player, you forget you're mic'd up. So it's kind of like me knowing I have a language selection in a specific areas of my work.
Sure.
Oh,
I walk through a certain set of doors, and I need to have a completely different attitude, and the vocabulary that is on call is completely different and edited. Unless you're in your own house, that's how it's got to be for a celebrity like that.
Right.
Isn't that exhausting?
No, it's easy if you know what you're doing. My current GM, I talked to him today for about 20 minutes, and he's a race fan too. He's going to start tuning into Speedway, oddly enough. And I said, hey, Tom, if you watch this, we're a little bit subversive. He goes, yeah, my private life, the F word flows like wine. I'm like, I've heard you cuss twice in a year. I would love to see what you're like at New Hampshire Motor fucking Speedway.
If you talk to the front of the house employees at work about how I talk, and to the back of the house employees how I talk, you're going to get two different complete languages coming out of everybody's mouth.
They probably think you're Wadsworth.
For me, it is fucking exhausting to have to pay attention to that edited list.
And that's
know your audience.
The reason it's exhausting mostly for me is that I do not feel safe in an environment where I can't swear. All right. And if we're talking about fucked up and safe places, I do not feel safe. I feel like if I can't swear here, like I'm being watched, like I'm being monitored, like Big Brother is always around, like I have to be a person that I'm not, I'm being fake. And for me, it can be absolutely exhausting. That's why I make limited trips out to the dining room. Because even with the kids, once I'm behind the line, I'm technically off color with the kids, and I'm a walking HR nightmare, but the kids love me. They love my food. So I get away with it. And my position in the area, in the cafeteria at the college, my grill area is way far away from everybody. So it's like a little hangout. So we get away with clowning around a little more than without everybody being right up in front. But if I have to go out front, oh yeah, it's like I'm walking around the fucking White House. Everything is.
Well, I also think in
the cleanest of clean, and there isn't an innuendo in shit.
I think you, and I can use Lynch as an example, because when we were working at Mosun and we saw each other in passing, everything was, oh, how's your night? Oh, everything's great. Oh, I had a really bad thing. Oh yeah. We see each other in the back of the house. We're like, so tell me about your night. Back of the house, motherfucker. This and kiss my stuff.
Bullshit. I'm out of here.
kiss my stuff and stick it down your mouth and suck it and suck it. Whereas, and I know because, Matt works at EB and I've heard the trucker mouths on people that work at EB.
Well, it's like it's Shawshank in there. I mean,
there you go.
At the same time, we also have occasionally, if I have to go through the offices or whatever else, and I'm embarrassed because when we leave, when that whistle blows in the afternoon and we leave the yard, all the inmates are freaking heading up the hill, and some of them cut through the executive office building to use the elevators, and these are people's cubicles and workspaces, and these clowns don't realize that they need to shut it off, and I'm like mortified. Because some of the stuff coming out of their mouths in like a professional work environment is like,
for real. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, fuck NFL, fuck Mike and everybody else up. I want to mic me and my crew up in the middle of 900 kids coming through in 2 hours for lunch.
That is an entire reality show,
dude.
Waiting
to fucking happen, dude. The shit, dude. The amount of it's got to be like HBO. It's got
Netflix.
Somewhere we can swear because
Herm's Kitchen coming soon.
Yeah, like I am HR Herm.
You are the violation.
I'm barbecue Mike, and I'm HR Herm at work. I am a walking HR violation constantly, and everybody knows it. But it's nothing bad. It's all just quiet enough that nobody really important hears it. It's just among us cooks right here.
We've spent a little time on offensive language. Can we get to offensive beauty pageants? Miss Maryland is a man. Lynch, you're rubbing your forehead. Look, I made a joke in the chat, and guys, every now and again we do post the chats on Dysfunction Junction Facebook page. Men are better women than women now, and that's disgusting. Lynch, it's your turn. Just wax. Just go.
All right. So she didn't win. She got a consolation prize. She got what she wanted. She got a consolation prize.
Under what criteria?
Because it's the in thing to do.
Yeah, but
it's the in thing to feed into somebody's psychosis.
What was the contest?
Miss Maryland, I think.
Okay.
Miss Maryland beauty contest.
Okay.
Which equals nothing.
No, you let him finish, Herm.
I'm listening.
Okay. Which on the grand scheme of things only sets you up for Miss USA or Miss America, whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't really matter. That person's not going to get recognized if they go to Maryland and say, all right, you're going to represent Maryland. They're not going to pick her. This is why I'm saying it affects your life, because it adds to the insanity of feeding into people's delusion to make them feel good about themselves. Yeah, we'll call you Miss Maryland. Get the fuck out of here. It's Mr. Maryland, and it needs to lose a few LBs.
Bailey Ann Kennedy, a Cambodian American immigrant, has been receiving transphobic comments since she was crowned. The newly crowned Miss Maryland, a Cambodian American trans woman, and this is good, a military wife, is speaking out against transphobic hate comments after winning the title. Miss Kennedy immigrated from Cambodia when she was 11, naturalized citizen, and she was inspired to compete in beauty pageants after last year's Miss USA lifted restrictions on contestants who are married and over the age of 28. But she's got a dick.
You heard what I said.
Then it's not Miss anything.
It's a ploy to placate these people who want to occupy women's spaces.
Herm does not have any children that are female. I do. This is where I get hot. This is where I get angry. My daughter plays basketball. I'll be dipped in shit if some 6'3" dude who says he's a woman. Look, you can feel however you want. Stay the fuck out of the sports, because if a 6'3" dude elbows my daughter and causes her to break something, I am going to go ridiculously apeshit. This will not end well. This is bad. There are female sports and there are male sports. We have had this discussion before. If you dig up a trans man 100 years from now, and they look at the skeleton, they will say, this is approximately a 30-year-old female. They don't give a shit what's in your head. Stop. You're taking opportunities away. And this pageant, I brought this up, and Matt, we'll go to you in just a second. I brought this up sheerly for the commentary to see what everybody had to say. To me, it doesn't change my life one bit. But what if I was second place? What if I was the chick, the woman in second place, natural woman, 1,000% to the bone, and a pretender took my opportunity? I'd be hot.
You should have had better credentials. You should have had a better interview. You should have looked better in a swimsuit. You should have
had a vagina.
Shut the fuck up.
Me or them?
Them. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
As far as it pertains to beauty pageants, I don't think that's. I don't think that
beauty pageant.
It's a beauty pageant. Who cares?
It means absolutely nothing. I don't give a fuck.
But I think we all agree
on principle of it, though, to an extent.
Let's keep it back on the topic.
It's an old, antiquated thing that was chauvinistic as fuck.
I think
and
the
now
concept of beauty pageants is freaking gross.
So, and basically, it's it's basically a very right wing type of environment.
It's gross.
All right.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
It's gross. And so now somebody completely left has pulled off a win. And now everybody's been, shut the fuck up. Next.
Can you throw Cynthia's comment up on the screen? This is beautiful. This is the guy we want to talk to. We were talking about this weekend. I'll tell you, my oldest son is gay, but he doesn't agree with the trans movement going to that level. Tell your son we want to talk to him. We want him on the show.
Let's throw beauty pageants away. I don't give a fuck about beauty pageants.
I don't either. There's
but as it pertains to sports and things that actually matter,
boxing,
that women occupy space in, sports being one of them. Because you feel you're a woman inside your head, fine, you can dress like a woman. It doesn't that doesn't affect me. But this is where I say it affects you. This is how it affects people, because you have to try to, a person with reasonable and common sense. It's very simple to wrap their head around the concept that it's not a woman, it's a pretender, like Chris said, dressing up as a woman. It's easier for me to wrap my head around that. And just because I can wrap my head around that concept and how it's totally nonsensical and not common sense, I'm told I hate them.
No,
there's a difference between disagreement and hatred. Just because I disagree with somebody on something, it doesn't make me a ist or a phobe. I don't hate you. I disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I move along with my day.
Sure.
Yeah.
The part that I hate, the part of this whole process, this whole thing I hate, is the indoctrination. And they won't have this discussion we're having now. They won't talk to somebody like us, me. I'll use me as the example because I brought it up. They won't talk to a guy like me and have a civil conversation about it. It's hands up, fuck you, you're wrong, I don't want to hear it. They don't want to have a discussion. That's why I'm saying you guys need to watch the Whatever podcast. I'm not plugging them.
I love it.
I don't know those guys, but I just think it presents a very real, very, very real picture of what 18 to 40-year-old women feel and think.
Well, to your point,
they did the man versus bear challenge,
mm-hmm.
and a very large percentage of the first panel I saw all chose bear. Well, a bear won't try to rape me.
No, but a bear will kill you.
You're absolutely right. A bear will not try to fuck you. But why do you assume that because you're trapped in the woods for 30 days that the guy you're going to be trapped with is going to fuck you? Why make that assumption? And their logic, there is no logic to it. You can't call
no.
You just call it word salad and saying the same thing over and over and over again, hoping it sounds different every time you say it. It doesn't. It still sounds like fucking garbage.
Absolutely.
It paints a very good, very vivid picture about what a majority of the women in America between the ages of 18 and 45 think. And
it's disgusting.
The older they get in the panel, they're more in line with what common sense is. It was eye-opening to me because I didn't like it at first, but
all right,
I got into it.
So opinions on the picture that was posted in the group chat about the situation in Texas.
Was that Texas or Alabama?
Texas, where it was she was wrestling and they were mad because she was taking male hormones.
I don't remember that. Real quick, can I just I don't want to lose my thought here. God damn it.
Lost.
When it comes down to what you were just talking about, Lynch, it really boils down to pretending versus reality. What I see, especially in sports, bring it back just a little bit. Transgender boy, which is a girl, Mac Beggs wins Texas girls wrestling title. So a transgender boy is a girl. Dude, if you're whipping the boy's ass,
no,
good on you.
No.
So that's a boy pretending to be a girl.
This is a woman pretending to be. This is a boy that wants to be. Or I'm sorry, this is a girl that wants to be a boy. That has begun the transferring.
I still don't like it.
Is taking hormones. Oh, yeah, I know you won't. Is taking hormones, and now all the parents in Texas are losing their shit because the hormones give her an unfair advantage.
No.
She can have both PMS rage.
You can't have it both ways.
No, guys, she's taking hormones to be a boy. She's taking.
I got that part. Doesn't matter.
I get that.
Compete in your division. Stop.
Well, I'm going to be crude. That was my point. Is that Texas has has HB 15, which is the collegiate sports. You have to participate in the sport you were
born into.
The sex of that you were assigned at birth.
Okay.
So the problem is that the people in Texas and some of y'all motherfuckers, when you're all making these rules and these laws, only think about it from the standpoint of when it's a man trying to be a woman.
I hate it either way.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Texas has made it the rule also with HB 25 that in high school sports, it's the same rule. So here's the problem. You don't get to bitch to people in Texas. You've made a rule stating that everybody has to compete in the category they were assigned
they were born into.
So this female born person that is now living their life as a boy is following your exact fucking rule. The problem is your chauvinistic ways only worried about it when shit like that swimmer dude was winning all of the women's shit.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
The people in Texas, you only saw it one way. What about men taking the positions of our women?
I think it's wrong either way.
I think it's completely right. I'm glad. I applaud it. I fucking applaud it. These dumb motherfuckers made a rule with a big ass fucking loophole, and this person who's following the rules.
I agree with
exactly
what with that part of it.
And the people who have a problem with it can fuck right off because y'all made the fucking rule in the first place that made the loophole.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I agree with that because it's a loophole. You got what you wanted, but you didn't think of the other way outcome.
Well, that's the problem. As my friend Matt Marsh likes to say a lot,
I really didn't think
people
this
in
through.
Texas didn't really think that through.
Beautiful. And that's the truth. It's weird to say it like this. Thank you for the drumsticks, Eric Carr. God rest your soul. If you're worried about it,
for the week. Sorry.
If you're worried about a dude taking estrogen, coming to women's sports and taking all, you have to worry about it from the other end. It's
They never
dude,
thought
this
about
is
the reverse.
Some didn't, but now we're seeing it right in front of our face. And guess what? You made it this way. You fucked yourselves.
You opened the fucking door.
Right.
Once you open the top of Pandora's box.
This girl is the exception.
But Pandora's a dude now.
Probably. This girl, dude, Shim, is the exception rather than the rule. Okay? This person is a girl who wants to live her life as a man, is taking the hormones, but is told you have to compete in your specific gender sport. Texas fucked this up. Texas fucked this up all sorts of 6 ways this Sunday.
When I was in high school,
a long time
ago. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when I had black hair,
when the Earth was
and the crust was warm,
and then the dinosaurs came, but they died off because they were too big and fat.
And there was Lynch,
and then there was me. Okay, airplane. In my high school in 1989 and 1990, Rhonda Lago, female, wrestled.
Oh, I remember her.
You remember Rhonda?
She wrestled.
Yeah, she wrestled for 2 years, and she fought.
Where'd you go,
fought that. Yeah, she graduated in '89.
Yeah, I went out with her a few times.
Yeah, Rhonda was cool. Rhonda was
in
cool.
Florida now.
Cool, yeah.
You dated a chick that was a wrestler in high school?
She wasn't a lesbian yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you turned a fucking muscle-bound wrestling chick lesbian? Is that what we're hearing?
Nope. She was tiny, dude.
Man. Whose team are you on, bro?
She was
Not only did you make her a lesbian, you made her dangerous to other fucking men.
I quit. I can't do this anymore.
Super power. She was like 5'4" and about 105 pounds.
Yeah, she was a dealer up at the casino when I knew her.
Wonder Twin powers
activate.
Fuck.
Wonder Queen
locking dicks.
Form of
time to lock penises.
A butt plug. Jesus.
Shape of a lesbian.
Shape of an oversized clit. But yeah, you got to think. In essence, I think it's wrong for either gender to compete in either other gender's space. Either way, it's wrong. These two are going to have their fucking meltdown. So Matt and I will just talk for a minute. You should occupy the space. You should occupy the space that you were born into, and I agree with that.
I fucking can't.
However, Texas found a loophole. Good on them, and you did it to yourself. But this is how I mean it. It does affect
Mother.
It affects your world.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that story though, Lynch, because I seem to recall that was around the same time that because Ledyard had a wrestler named Corey Riffer, and he was good. And this was in the papers because he was scheduled to wrestle a female. I don't know if it was Randa or not, but
I remember Riffer.
Big controversy over that shit, and I think he declined the match if I remember right.
Well, back then that would have unfortunately
that was huge back then.
Well, that was big, but unfortunately back then, what he did was considered
gentlemanly.
It was. Yeah, we hadn't.
He was going to have to be retrained on how to wrestle in a certain way where he wasn't going to violate her.
Right, like he literally needed an intimacy.
He had to relearn.
Yep,
an intimacy
I remember this
coach
vividly.
like they have.
I mean, I was in junior high when this
on a
went
movie set.
I remember
just because you need to learn different techniques because when you would normally just reach around and place your hand on their chest
or between
because
their
of
legs.
the way it works for leverage, you're in fucking now you're being disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it unfortunately, legitimately, if the gentleman is being respectful, it puts him at a severe advantage.
Right.
It almost makes it equal because the holds that he's used to using on a male can't be used with the same touch, and so it's like he's using his left arm instead of his right arm to arm wrestle.
Right.
So it actually fares it out. Look, I'm old, but I'm respectful. Like if I gotta fight a girl, like I'm just hitting her hard enough to make her
just
lose,
to knock her out.
I'm not, just to lose. I'm not gonna knock her the fuck out and beat her like a dude.
No,
I'm literally just gonna do enough to make sure I win.
not like the trans boxing
Like
dude.
I could not just walk up and slug a chick. Now, if she had hit me with a base, no, I'll be honest.
Different story.
I've hit a woman before, but she hit me with a fucking baseball bat. So when you hit me with a baseball bat,
bitch
all
going
bets
down.
are off. You've got a weapon, I don't. All bets are off.
Yeah.
And I'm not proud of it. It just went down that way.
You ought to be proud of it.
And even the police were like, "No, you're all right. There's no arrest."
No.
But she had a bat. She came out of a fucking bar with a bat.
Jesus Christ.
Mutually combative.
Yeah, like I'm not going around deliberately fighting a woman. It just kind of happened when she swung at me. And that's the issue. That totally puts that wrestler, even though he's stronger, at a disadvantage because he is, instead of going by muscle memory and move,
he has to relearn everything.
Well, no, he has to be completely in his fucking head the entire match, rather than just working on muscle memory and fucking.
You can't just go berserker.
Right. You know what I mean? And you can't just go in a zone where it's all. Your brain checks out. You know what I mean? You have to stay.
You just got to do enough to neutralize and no more.
Present all the time. Right. So that again,
I remember that
match would be exhausting.
I remember that story, Matt. It's funny that you bring that up because it was
in the papers for a few weeks because there was a lot of local controversy about that.
That was my junior into my senior year because.
Yeah, you got a couple years on me. I was going to say I think I was a freshman, or I might even been in 8th grade when that went on.
Yeah, because I was a junior, which would make sense. I'm just old enough for me to have been a junior. It was a big deal. There's more to her story after the fact, where she wanted to be a female firefighter, a paid firefighter in Groton City.
She wanted to be a few things.
Yeah, that didn't.
Then she dated Marsh, and she became those things.
Like a lesbian, and then she dated Matt Marsh, and all of her dreams came true.
I was gonna say, and her dreams came true.
And after that, they went to Disney World.
And 6 or 7 years later, she woke up and she's like, where am I? Why am I? What?
The biggest dream was to be a lesbian, and then in
I dated Matt Marsh.
And then in 1992, she met Matthew Marsh.
Oh my God!
I could never be with another man, or a man.
Fucking ruined me,
or a man ever.
Oh my God!
You fucking ruined me.
Are they all like this? There has to be something better. Come on.
That brings my tally up to 7.
My question now is if Matt's wife currently is lesbian, but this has gone too far and it's too fucking deep, and she's just fucking riding it out because she has to at this point.
Can I? As long as they're both happy.
20 years into this shit, I am not fucking checking out now.
I got one question. As long as they're both happy. I got one question. Can I quit now?
You know, it's like back when we were kids and you used to play gay chicken. Yeah, I'm the winner. I'm the winner of all time at gay chicken.
Whoa,
me and a
what's
guy
gay
played,
chicken?
You don't remember
really? What's gay chicken?
It was like I saw a thing. You guys remember playing gay chicken? I don't remember. I don't know what gay chicken was, but it was a game that they played in his town, right? And the guy was like, look, I'm the winner in my town of gay fucking chicken. And whatever that was, touching somebody's dick, or I don't know what it is, smack him in the balls, whatever the gift game was. But basically he's like, I took it really way too fucking far. It's now 10 years later. We own a bed and breakfast in Vermont, and we
and I'm sucking a cock.
It's a joke, but like that's how far I will take it. You know, if we're playing gay chicken, then I bet you could probably Google gay.
Now that's
gay
a guy
chicken.
who really wants to win.
I never, in
go
the history
big
of ever,
or go Herm.
Amen, brother. You can't spell HR. You can't spell Herm without HR.
Without HR.
I never, in the history of ever, thought we could go too far.
Let's Google gay chicken
until tonight. You know what?
Hey.
I'm done.
You know what docking is, right?
Stop it! Stop it!
You gotta find him. You gotta find a man with lots of
I was
foreskin.
playing a game of gay chicken with my friend.
You three make Gypsy Rose look normal.
The point of the game was for 2 straight guys to pretend to be gay for as long as possible, and whoever chickened out first lost. There you go. That's the explanation. We were both pretty stubborn. It wasn't easy. Today, we have been together for 3.5 years and are thinking of adopting a child.
And teaching them how to play gay chicken. This is worth.
It's a joke. He's losing it. You do understand.
I'm muted on purpose.
All right. No, it's a joke. I'm starting to get worried that he might actually be gay if he doesn't break up with me soon. It was a joke, and that's all. Two gay guys, two straight guys pretending to be gay, and who can out gay the other one. Dude, that's something we would do.
That's commitment.
Now it's 5 years later, and Chris and I now run a lovely bed and breakfast, and he's got chickens out back, and
he wears the summer frock.
For real, like if he doesn't fucking knock it off soon, I'm really gonna think he's fucking gay, bro.
All right,
yeah, you dressed like Leave It to Beaver's mom, picking out the cookies out of the oven.
You might have a point there, except Herm would be the one cooking, so he'd have the frock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll put on a frilly apron. I'm not above that.
The mental imagery is killing me.
I know, right?
I mean, there's a picture of me.
Like watching Sasquatch in a French maid outfit.
And right.
There's a picture of me in a Megan's bra with Cantaloupe wearing a pair of her panties somewhere.
I'm sure there's several pictures of you
dude,
like that.
Can we stop? Seriously.
I mean,
that's true.
And I've got pictures of Jen's, I got pictures of Jen's tits with like the Friday Night Lights whipped cream sundaes, but and no face, just tits and just the sundaes. But
that's your wife though.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have pictures of me in her fucking underwear.
Are you wearing like eyelashes and mascara and shit?
With with fruit.
Can I just say out loud?
We know you're fruity.
Can I just say out loud? You've piqued Marsh's interest. He might turn you lesbian. You don't know.
Marsh is not interested in
discovered a new form of porn.
Marsh has reached a level of repulse.
Anybody read any good books lately? Because I've had my forehead vein is throbbing. I can't do this anymore. You guys have brought us to the bottom of the fucking barrel.
We can talk about that movie.
What movie?
But we're gonna have to talk about something because I gotta get this mental imagery out of my head.
Yeah, right.
All right. So the movie Hitman, I keep.
Yeah. That looked all right.
Yeah, you can walk us out. I'm not. I'm done with you, fucking freaks.
So Saturday night, I set the TV up in the backyard. Megan's like, "Oh, we want to do TV outside tonight?" Sure. First thing that popped up on Netflix, and I was like, "Yeah, this looks pretty. It looks okay."
Are we discussing Hitman?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So on a whim.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
I've not seen it. So
I've not seen it either. I'm late to the party. I'm not going to watch the greatest.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
So on a whim, because it was the first thing that popped up, I watched it about 2 hours long. Then I saw who directed it, Richard Linklater.
Same, and who the main actor was, and I was like, okay,
Glenn Powell,
all right. This might be good. I same. Go.
I'm gonna synopsize it this way. He's so good in the first 10 minutes of that movie, I didn't recognize him as to who he was.
No,
he was in Top Gun.
And then Megan goes,
it wasn't until he was fucking Ron, and I was like, boom.
Megan's on her gimmick, her phone. She goes, "Oh, he's the guy from Top Gun." And I went,
"Yeah,
no shit."
Yes, it wasn't until he was Ron and looked slick and cool, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the dude from fucking Maverick."
I also see he's in an upcoming movie. Oh, he's in the new Twister movie, Twisters.
Oh, Twisters.
He's one of the leads.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's one of the leads. Shit. I like him. I really liked him. In Top Gun, he's a decent actor.
I like.
And then I saw it.
I like everything about Top Gun.
Then after the movie, I'm like, motherfucker wrote the movie too. I'm like, that motherfucker deserves a trophy. I don't care if I make it and mail it to him. That was a very, very well written, well executed black comedy. One of the best I've seen in fucking years.
Well, you end up at the end somewhere you totally didn't expect to be.
No,
like when it all ties up in the last scene.
Don't tell me nothing.
I'm not. You literally just go like the way the movie starts out. It starts out just real mellow, and then you think it's going to go one way, and then
all right, stop.
the movie changes. The story is that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you won't know. You won't know where that point of contact is.
Okay, good.
When you start watching it, you have no idea where the fuck it's going to end, and you're like, "Whoa!"
You know how some movies. You know how some movies within the first 30 minutes, or even say TV shows within the first 10,
you know where
where the show's going to end.
Dude,
you mean because of the foreshadowing?
No, it's literally it's 60 seconds before the movie ends, and then you figure it, and then you get it.
I can't remember the name of the movie.
The Usual Suspects.
It's literally
that's a good one too.
On the street, like the last 60 seconds of the movie, totally clarify every fucking thing you've seen.
Lynch, help me out with this 90s film. Young lady, very hot, going through the whole gimmickry. She's being stalked. Everything's going on with her, and at the end, you find out she's stalking herself, and she's fucking crazy. What was the name of that fucking film?
I can't remember the name of the movie. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Give me a few minutes.
I remember seeing that movie in the Groton Theater with my main man Mike Coons and his wife Christine. By the way, throw a little prayer up for Christine. She's going through a lot right now, and she could use all of our support. We love you, Christine. Hope you come out on the other end.
CJ, you'll be fine.
Absolutely, we love you, and we're behind you. But we went to see this movie, and we're about 15 minutes in, and this is when CJ was the manager of the Groton Theater, which means at 12:30, when everybody dumps out, the degenerates come in, and they'll run a movie that's about to open tomorrow. And this is how they screen the movies, but we'd all come in with cases of beer and nachos and all this shit. Nice. We're 15 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, this bitch is stalking herself. And my buddy Jason was like, nah, man, no. I'm like, yeah. I want to say it had Banderas and maybe Rebecca De Mornay.
Oh.
Who was hotter than shit.
Yeah.
I went when I was in New York City years ago with Andy Seifert, who can suck it. We were in New York for a Comic-Con, and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle was playing, Premier Jones, and I couldn't remember the name of the movie. And he's like, hey, you want to go see a movie tonight? I'm like, yeah, I just saw that The Dude That Flung the Bitch was opening. He goes, what? I'm like, yeah, The Dude That Flung the Bitch. It's right down the street. Let's go. We walk down. He goes, you mean The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Yes, that one. The Dude That Flung the Bitch. And at the end, the dude flung the bitch. So I was right.
Yeah, I'm trying to. If it has Banderas in it, I think I know what movie you're talking about.
Banderas?
Yeah, I think it was Banderas.
I never even heard of him.
Antonio Banderas?
Oh, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
I thought you said Banderas.
No, Banderas.
Oh, Banderas.
Or
I thought
Ben Dover.
Ben Dover, yes.
You must bend over. It's that you feel like it's the first time you ever watched The Usual Suspects. You're like, motherfucker, I did not see that coming.
Right. But
and
this one was telegraphed.
And
it was telegraphed.
I love shows and movies that keep me on my toes.
I'm going in. I'm going in.
Just when you think, I know it's. Oh shit, that's not what I expected. Not spoiling anything for the movie, but they use one of these as one of the most brilliant piece of screen prop ever. Ever. Yes. An iPhone 80s? In particular. No. This movie takes place. The story evolved from in the 80s and 90s, but it's set more present time. Do you see what I'm saying? So they moved the story up 25 years.
I got you.
So it's set current. Not. They didn't frame it historically. They didn't frame it within the time frame it occurred. But yeah, it's a brilliant piece of movie making. Go ahead, Chris.
The year was 1995.
Okay.
Antonio Banderas and Rebecca De Mornay starred in the film Never Talk to Strangers.
Oh yeah.
I know the title. I never saw the movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't my cup of tea.
I think I saw it exactly once when it first came out on VHS.
I was so mad at the end of that film when it came out. Look, if you guys haven't seen the movie, too bad. It was fucking 30 years ago. Suck it. it's exposed that she is stalking herself and creating all of this bullshit around her. And I stood up and I'm like, God damn it, I called it. And everybody in the theater turned around and Jason went, yeah, he did. About 20 minutes into the film. Damn it. Never talk to. That's the worst fucking movie. That's worse than Ishtar. It's worse than Kiss Meets the Phantom.
Babel was pretty bad.
It's worse than Shocker. Never Talk to Strangers was the worst film ever made in the history of ever and film. I would rather go pay $35 a seat to watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park than watch Never Talk to Strangers ever again.
Well, that's putting quite a price on it. Yeah, I hate it when shows and movies do that. Or conversely, the trailer tells the entire story.
Yes.
Oh, that's how it is now. Trailers used to be, they just build a bit of suspense. Now it's the whole damn movie in a minute and a half.
I was highly anticipating the new Alien movie.
Oh yeah, how's the trailer for that?
Because of who's directing.
Bob Backlund?
No, not Bob Backlund.
Joel Schumacher.
No. Stand by. I'll get you it's
Michael Schumacher.
He directed the newest Evil Dead film. Came out last year.
Christ.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm out.
It's a Hispanic name.
Hispanic Jones.
I've seen his work.
Julio.
I've seen his work. I've seen his work, and he's impressing me.
Okay, I tried some.
Eva Longoria.
I saw the teaser trailer. I was like,
Sancho Panza.
Would you shut the fuck up?
Pancho Villa. Fidel Castro. Come on.
Just how far?
If you want,
just how far can I shove this up one of your asses right now? Are we talking mid-label? Are we talking to where the flare happens down here, where it buckles out a little bit?
Ric Flair?
I'm going to lose my arm.
Yes. If you're in Marsh's case, yes. In my case, I'll go top label.
All right. So the teaser trailer intrigued me. I made the mistake of watching the full trailer last night. I'm out.
Wow.
What movie?
They told the whole fucking story in the trailer.
What movie? They do now. It sucks.
The new Alien movie that's coming out.
What is that?
It takes place mid Alien and Aliens, and it tells a different story within that time frame with a different crew.
On a different place.
Within where the original Alien
on that same planet substation
in the galaxy
somewhere else on the planet.
They don't specify that from what
I'm just curious. I know the whole
from what I've read.
I can see the entire time frame and world in my head. It's the same.
They put Nods the Predator in there.
It's actually the same world that Dune takes place in. Same
universe.
It is. It's really
so it takes.
With that
they haven't specified whether it takes place on LV-426.
Okay, that's kind of where I was going.
It's implied, but it's also implied that they're within the same region.
Okay.
On their way, it's a mission to find out. All right, this is what I got out of the trailer.
Well, now you got to watch.
They're on a mission. They're on a mission to find what happened to the original Alien crew.
Well, right, that would be
what I'm thinking.
The crew that would be the crew from that David took over, and that was sent there. So we're dealing with the last movie, but we're doing it within the time frame of
which I think was a brilliant idea.
Aliens and Alien 3,
right? Which is to me a brilliant idea. As much as Prometheus gets shit on and anything after Prometheus, I think they tell a very important story.
They're a very integral part of the story. You start to understand how vast the alien problem probably actually is.
Right. So I look at the Prometheus film as I rank that number 2 as far as quality in the Alien franchise.
Behind what?
Alien number 1. Prometheus number 2, Aliens number 3, Alien 3, actually number 4, because I've seen the actual version of Alien 3 that's 2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Aliens 4 was
the uncut director's version.
Yes, the uncut.
It's a completely different movie than we saw,
and it's fucking incredible.
And they showed in the theater. There's literally like a half hour of extra footage that,
and it tells so much more of the story that they didn't tell in the version that was taken out of David Fincher's hands.
Right.
That film went through like 6 directors before they landed on David Fincher, and the only reason that he got the gig is because their time was going to expire if they didn't have a director in the seat.
Right.
The script wasn't done. This was like the 7th version of the script. So he was getting revisions every fucking day.
Right. Everybody's lines were literally not, you weren't getting lines on set until like the night before.
Right. So he framed his version of the story around previous versions, and they excised all that. It tells more of the story about the prisoners and why they're there, and what a little bit more into their backstory. And I think it makes it a better movie. Everything else falls in line in order of release. I don't count Alien versus Predator because that's a completely different universe.
Yeah, well,
that
those were the Alien v Predator movies. I feel are the same thing as the 50 Shades of Grey movies. They were fan fiction. Well, no, they're basically a fan fiction concept that was turned into a movie. That's why the 50 Shades of Grey movie books are. It was an adolescent that actually wrote that shit.
Right.
Wow. Shades of Grey. So there's a reason it reads and is easy to get through. It's written very simply, but also it's fan fiction. Somebody saw some shit. Somebody wrote a story based on some shit. You know, somebody made a movie based on Alien and Predator, and it's not actually part of that Dune Alien universe timeline.
No, it was based on the comic book, and it even deviated from the original comic book because I used to collect that. Alien is a very important horror franchise for me. Alien is the first hard R horror movie I saw in theater because I begged my parents to see it. And my dad's finally like, okay. When Ash's head gets knocked off with a fire extinguisher and starts
in the first movie,
dude,
1979, so fucking scary.
In 1979,
that movie are disgusting.
Let's do some math. I was born in 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 years old. And I begged to go see this movie.
I just want to let you know that most of us on the panel could have done that without fingers.
I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say it.
Thank you.
When Ash is spewing this white liquid out of his neck.
Start over.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I've laughed
you
so
in
much
particular.
tonight.
Fuck you in particular.
Thank you. You're welcome. Go ahead.
3 times, big man.
You're gonna get it. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
No,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
I was under my dad's chair.
The aliens storyline is amazing. It's a great fucking storyline.
And I was under my dad's chair for almost the remainder of the movie. But I love that. I love that feeling. It's getting scared like that was like a dopamine rush for me. And that's why I fell in love with horror movies. And I fell in love with horror movies when there are a lot of them. There were copycats galore. If you had a zombie movie called this in the United States, well, guess what? The Italians were making 5 and framing it as a sequel.
Yep.
I grew up in a time where it was just constant fucking barrage of horror movies and the guts and gore.
See, for me, I liked some of that. And my dad liked some horror, but it was Westerns.
I didn't get into those till I was an adult.
Dad was Westerns. He grew up out here, out in the farm country, and back then people were still riding horses and shit around town. He lived in a rough section of town later, but in the beginning he lived out in the middle of nowhere, out in the county. So he lived it was a dust bowl out there. It was a farm. It was farmland. It was flat.
This here is no man's land.
Yeah, he loved cowboys, man. He just loved
That's cool,
cowboys.
man.
He loved the definitive knowing of who was good and who was bad, because in life it's so hard to tell who's good and who is bad.
Agreed.
And he really, really loved the fact that cowboy movies just broke it down. Like, and you know that, and the cinematic shit you saw in some of those old.
Oh, the visuals were amazing.
You got like 3 minutes of film, and there isn't a fucking word being said. It's just following 20 guys on horses through 2 or 3 different shots that are just magnificent. Yeah.
I love
I didn't really understand it until I got out here and started seeing shit that you can never, ever hope to see back home. Like, dude, it's June fucking 11th, and the mountains, these niggas still got snow on the top.
Yeah, you got some scenery, that's for sure.
Like, when I drive home, it's 103 degrees, but the mountains over there that I can see 50 miles away still and are so big they take up they still got snow on the top, bro.
Yeah, look, it's no joke. And if anybody who is never been to Colorado, never seen Colorado, there's a reason why certain parts of Colorado are called the Mile High, because they are truly a mile in the air. And yes, you're going to have snow, and it's a beautiful fucking sight.
Oh,
it really is.
Oh, that's me in Pueblo. In Pueblo, we're 4,900 feet right now.
I was in Colorado Springs and I got headaches just because.
Yeah, we're just shy of a mile around here. Colorado's Mile High. The problem is we've got towns that exist that are at like 13,500 feet, like above the oxygen line.
Yeah,
it's that shit up there that really fucks with you. But yeah,
where did Lynch go?
I don't know. Damn,
fuck him.
But yeah, like we are in the lower part on the Front Range, so if we look off in the distance, the mountains are so big we can see them. But I see some shit here that the size of the sky here is.
Yeah,
I'll give a fuck what Montana says. The sky is really big. The sky is really motherfucking big here in Colorado, bro. Like, I can legitimately look and watch thunderstorms happen.
Marsh, you want to see something cool?
35 minutes.
I don't want to see that. Don't you do it.
No. I said something cool.
Oh, okay.
I can make Herm sing and clap at the same time. The sky at night is big and bright.
That's Texas, though.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, I was going to say Colorado, but yeah, you got the feeling.
Yeah, it's the sky. Well, that's the thing. The sky at night is not big and bright here.
I'm just fucking with you. Can you just play along with the gimmick?
I am.
That's like I said. That's how parts of Arizona were away from the city.
Like just being able to stand on my back patio and look north, and literally watch on my phone as thunderstorms go through Colorado Springs, and being able to track the lightning tracker on my phone and. That's time
cool, man.
With the fucking flashes I'm seeing, like I'm watching thunderstorms 35, 40 miles away.
You should work for Major League Baseball and NASCAR to get that shit squared away.
There.
Oh, the Mexican food here is absolutely insane.
Lynch, do you know how to spell Lynch?
Did you change your shirt?
Lynch.
No.
Lynch.
You changed your name again.
Something go down, my man.
So something's weird with my laptop right now.
I thought someone was in a bathroom.
No, this is me on my phone.
This is Lynch live from the shitter.
Or as it says, La bitch.
La bitch.
Hey, I've been called worse.
Yeah,
you have.
There's definitely some visuals that you get here that you do not get growing up in New England.
I can absolutely imagine that. Red's Apple Ale.
Red's Apple Ale?
Red's Apple Ale.
Oh, okay.
It's an apple flavored sweetened beer, so it kind of comes off like a cider. More specifically, it's more like an alcoholic.
Oh my god, I'm everywhere.
Yes.
Oh my god, we got Lynch twice.
What the fuck?
I can't do that. That's some kind of alternate universe shit right there.
Right.
There we go.
Can we close this out, please?
There we go.
I mean, we could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I
understand. I understand. According to the Herminator, we have a guest next week. Would you like to talk about that quick?
we do. We have his name is Jed, and it's Jed Rowan.
Jed Rowan.
Yeah, Jed Rowan. He's an actor. He's been in The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. He was in that movie that I talked about in the group chat the other day, Space Wars.
That's on my list. It's on my list.
He had a role in that. It's not a big role, but he sent me a link for it on YouTube to watch the whole Johnny X movie. I've looked everywhere else, and everywhere it isn't now. So like it was on a bunch of services, but it's not now. So I'll send you guys the link. You guys can watch that on your device or on your, cast it to your TV. But he's done some pretty cool shit. And then July 2nd, we have a gentleman by the name of Josiah. He is a rapper and a musician that we're going to have on the show. Talk about himself a little bit. And I'm working on getting Mischief back as a solo.
Nice. And in the interim, I have Ian Cunningham, who is a comedian out of Connecticut. And I say comedian because he's a very good stand-up comedian. However, he's also a flat earther. So really? I thought we'd bring him on to listen to him, not browbeat him. He is a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for 8 years. He and I have great discussions, and we always end it with, thanks for talking. We had a really great conversation. Doesn't mean I believe in what he's saying, but he's been featured on WPLR. His buddy was just on the Roseanne Barr podcast recently. We're trying to get Dave on the show, too.
She got a podcast?
Yeah, she does. So does Alex Jones now. Because a podcast. Yeah. So Alex Jones had a podcast, then it went away, then it came back. So Dave was on.
I got to listen to this motherfucker ramble on his stupidity and insanity, and I got to shut the fuck up and be nice and polite.
You can't do it.
No, you ask questions.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna ask questions, and he might
ask questions. Let him talk his talk, because as I told him, I'm like, dude, we're coming in knives deep, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And let the people decide.
No, I really don't want to hear what your uneducated, dumbass has to say. I'm going to be honest. I think you're a fucking idiot, and the fact that you speak and draw breath fucking hurts everybody else that believes what's going on.
Don't waste it all now.
Dude.
Don't worry. There's plenty more.
Let me just say, Ian is a fantastic guy.
I'm sure he is. Being a nice guy has nothing to do with being fucking retarded. I said it.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you, Martin Truex Jr. As I say that, don't forget, tune in tomorrow night, Speedway Review. We're talking all things Sonoma. And the week after that, you get
a wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina. Look at that pup.
Wine mixer.
That is gorgeous. The week after that on the Speedway Review, you get live.
Be when it grows up.
He's
a bigger dog.
It's a corgi.
Walter eats sandwiches.
He's a rescue, but he's a corgi something mixed. Possibly corgi chihuahua.
Let me guess. He rescued you.
Not really.
Aww.
Don't listen to the bad man, Finney. It's okay.
On that note, listen, we got so much going on between Dysfunction and Speedway. There's too much to talk about. We're just going to say good night, folks. You all say good night, too, because that's your job.
I got to go have some dinner.
Folks.
See ya.
Sayonara.
Oh, cocksucker.
Apparently this week's Matt Marsh is the reason we can't have nice things. Dude, this dog is literally looking like a cat. But what the fuck? What the fuck?
You can't do that. You know what? There's no room for a last word here. You guys were so fucking retarded tonight. I had too much fun. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
It's not nice to say retard, you know.
Oh, no.